This was all very confusing. At peace? Yes, the mountains were peaceful and quiet, but he now had the power to turn the tides. He should report to the Rebellion Council and prepare for the decisive battle.
So we're learning that this thing will damage us, basically. It's dangerous, and if we can't control it, it'll become unstable. At peace, yes, that almost makes sense. The core was protecting Reynardo from the Iblis Stone's dark influence, but too much killing would overload it. He had to find inner peace to maintain balance. But overloading the core did not sound reassuring. Maybe Reynardo could try to find peace real quick, then go back into the fray in time to save the rebellion. To the mountains he would need to go, or at peace. No, the rebellion depended on him. But finding peace takes time, and the rebellion was running out of time. Reynardo had to focus on the mission. He had to save the rebellion while there was still a rebellion to save. To the rebel pace now. It's fitting that one of them sort of made the Yoda voice. To some, or at least it sounded like that a little bit, because this is very much like the situation in Empire Strikes Back, where Luke has not finished his training and is not ready yet, and he goes off to save his friends because he senses that they're in trouble, risking everything, and now there's new movies coming out, so it's hard to go on, but for a long time people were projecting that perhaps he was giving into the dark side by doing that, and his clothes even changed from being white to gray to black over the course of the 3 movies to infer that he might be giving into the dark side on accident throughout the trilogy. So maybe we should try to obtain peace. If we want to save the rebellion, we gotta do it right?
The one thing he understood from all the Toad arguments: maybe the stone did not feed on blood, or souls, or rage. It fed on empathy. It fed on the pain he felt when he put an end to another being's existence. Even if that other being was a raven intent on killing him. If he could find peace, then he could use the power of the Iblis Stone without being taken over by its evil. The mountains. He would go to the mountains. He could find peace there.
So that's the funny thing, we fed it a core, but the core is just keeping it busy for a while. It's not actually a solution. We need to stop it from feeding on us.
Unfortunately, the mountains were not empty. There were ravens everywhere, no matter. He had to fight, yes, but he didn't have to be angry. Parry, dodge, slash, and breathe. Yes, focus on the rhythm, the dance of it, not on the blood or the raven's core as they died. It was working. He wasn't feeling those dark jolts of eldritch energy. He wasn't feeding the Iblis Stone.
It's like a parasite that you have to defeat. It gives you the feelings that you want to feel. Makes you feel exactly what you want to feel, so that it can continually feed on you and gain what it wants. So you need to find a way to defeat that. We need to find a way to fight in peace. Although you'd wonder why I couldn't do that by helping the rebellion if I'm gonna fight here anyway. Hi everyone. Don't mind me. Just chopping away. The downside of doing damage with my dash, is actually the fact that suddenly it's harder to kill the fire guys because they run away when you hurt them once. But the dash does way less damage than a sword strike. But dashing at them is the fastest way to catch them in the meantime. Hello. Goodbye. You'll notice that I was glowing purple before, but now I'm glowing a bright blue.
The stone was still silent. His mind was his own, and his heart too. He bore them no ill will, these ravens. They were doing their job. They were expressing their nature. Dance, whirl, parry, jab, and breathe. It was all so simple, wasn't it? Something was missing. He didn't feel truly at peace. Wait. Wasn't this near where Calaveras lived? The sage would help him figure it all out.
We're back in Calaveras territory. This is where the original storyline ended. The previous one we played. We're getting there. Interesting that they specifically didn't want you to discover the Iblis Stone until you did one of the other storylines. I wonder what the purpose of that is in particular.
Reynardo felt new powers ready to blossom within him, or something.
Oh, I missed a chance over there to go over there. My bad. It happened. Hi. Oh. Oh, damn it. I've made that mistake a few times now, where it's very easy to accidentally dash into the exploding guy. Because, what happens is, I'm trying to dash around and just evade enemies and try to position them so they go towards the, exploding guy, for example. But, if you hit the dash button, because they attack now...
Take the goat across first.
Take the goat across first? Now that my dash is an attack, it tries to auto-lock onto enemies. And so now instead of evading in circles around stuff, I dash straight at things. Which is problematic if that thing is about to explode. Gotta be careful with that. Chop, 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 chop! They're like these sad chicken fireworks. What? What? Take the goat across first. Is that a reference to the weird... The riddle about when you have like I think you have a chicken, a goat, and a fox? Or it might have been like a...
Hoped his hook didn't break.
Oh wait, no, it was a goat, a fox, or maybe a wolf, and something that the goat would eat, like a fruit or something like that. And you had a canoe where you could only take, I think you could only put 2 things in at once or something like that. So the idea was that you had to carefully try to ferry them all across so that none of the things when left unattended would eat the other things. And you want to take the goat across first because the goat would eat the plant, but the wolf doesn't care about the plant, so if you leave the wolf and the plant together, you're good. Or is that how it worked? Yeah, I don't remember what happens next, though. I don't remember the specifics of the riddle very much. I think you could put 2 of them in at once, but you can only leave one at a time. So maybe you were supposed to take the goat and the plant together, but then only leave the goat on the other side and then go get the wolf and so on. It's not that important. But I think that's what the weird random reference was there. What's the deal here? There's torches and then there's frozen ones, which seem to just be extinct torches. I doubt there's some sort of weird ice braziers. But I wonder what the significance might be. Can I light these? Seems to not be the case. It's such a beautiful little area. Oh, right. Trying to dash instead of grappling. My bad. Oh, that's gonna require an ice sword to get through. Onward! Calaveras! Why are you so secluded, man? You make it hard to visit.
Huh? A lever? That was new. Most people still use doorknobs.
Are we... are we reacting like that's the first...
The Iblis Stone, silenced by the Sky Ripper's core, had given Reynardo enough power to challenge the Imperial fleet. But what Reynardo was seeking was inner peace. The rebellion was on the verge of extinction, but it would have to wait.
After all, weapons are ready when they're ready, right? Although the catch-22 here is, if I get calm enough to use this thing properly, will I want to use it anymore? It could be a self-extinguishing strength. All the power in the world and zero desire to do anything with it.
Truth was, Reynardo really liked the sound his sword made in the air.
That was weird. It was just impervious to damage on one side. It's a ghosts. They're ghosts. Ghost ice. The fabled kind. Ooh, we have a point to spend. Nice. I want to see what attack reflexes does. It says that it slows down time after a successful attack. That's curious. I wonder if that means that every time I attack ever, that time will pause if I stand still. Looks like we made it.
At the end of the mountain path, he found the wise Calaveras in his workshop. Do you fix souls or only artifacts? He asked the sage.
Does your soul need fixing?
Asked the sage. I've been killing a lot of ravens lately, he told the sage.
You're a fox,
said Calaveras.
and to kill birds is part of your nature. Just take joy in it. I mean, I might as well worry about eating flies. Would you like a fly?
It was true. That's what he had forgotten. The joy. Now he was ready for the final battle. The Farfarer cut through the clouds. The air had never felt so sweet since he was a child. There it was. The dreaded Imperial fleet. He could smell wet hemp ropes ahead, wood and tar, and ravens. Even the fleet smelt good, somehow. He was ready. He was ready.
That was oddly poignant. Do you fix souls or only artifacts?
Reynardo had it all squared away in his head. He would kill the Emperor. Isengrim III had begun well, but he had gone mad. He was trying to invoke the lost gods by means of dark, blasphemous rituals. That was a secret, but the victims had spoken to Reynardo. The ghosts had spoken. No anger. Reynardo could not afford anger. It was empowering the crystal in his sword. That made him stronger, but it clouded his mind. He would not be a hero. A hero strives. Reynardo would just be one with everything. The Emperor would die, and the wheel would turn, and all would be restored without rancor, without sorrow, without pain.
Wow. I made references to Star Wars, but we really are going...
Like Tarzan.
We are really trying to go for the full Jedi direction with this thing. Oop. Trying to fully cleanse ourselves. There we go. I was trying to grapple and it wasn't quite working at first. Burn, burn, burn! Oh wait, no. We're supposed to be really mellow and chill about this, huh? Whoops. I guess I'll just have to pretend not to take joy. Hi, everyone. Oh yeah, you definitely see the little pause every time I attack something now. That's one thing that makes the whole Jedi thing feel legit. Him having this level of effectiveness.
Sharp? Check. Pointy? Check. Flexible? Check. What else do you need in a sword?
Things are working fantastically if you're now feeling like time's moving in slow motion when you fight. Found our way back onto the fleet either way, didn't we? Interesting. The context is definitely different this time. It's funny how we seek inner peace and then that ultimately leads to us trying to slay the Emperor, when us giving into our hearts led to us fleeing entirely and seeking the console of an old loved one and completely never even meeting the Emperor in
There's
any
an inscription
capacity.
on the platform. Balaleka lessons with an address.
Lessons. Here we go. More. 67. Hey, there's a kind of inherent contradiction there, isn't it? That the peaceful option leads to us trying to assassinate someone. We'll see if that pans out, or if he ultimately gives in that situation. If there's anything we learned from last time, it's that we may not have any control over what happens at the end of the story. We were betrayed twofold, essentially, and murdered. Always following a heart has essentially led to us getting an arrow through it. I guess the more you listen to your heart, the bigger of a target it becomes. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. The juggle there is always fun. Yeah, I don't have a void. I like seeing how many little branching paths there are everywhere. It's very encouraging. Oh, I see you. Not getting past me. Oh, he got past me. As it turns out.
Those flames really bring out your eyes.
Burn everything, burn. Some of the time when I go to the fire sword and just start flailing away at it, sometimes things that are off screen behind me just die there, and I turn to attack them and realize the fight's already over. Because I well and truly made a mess of things. It's dangerous too. Those explosive enemies, they seem to ignite rather abruptly in that situation. Burn! Oh yeah, the damage over time is severe. You can, once they're burning enough, you can kind of just leave them alone and go focus on someone else. Oh, that guy just went off a ledge, like this. Yeah.
Reynardo felt ready to become faster, stronger, but the more he thought about it, and he had so much more time to think about it now that he was not worrying about the battle. Killing the Emperor would not change anything. Another would take his place. Perhaps Zenobia. Perhaps the Speaker of the Rebel Council, and power would corrupt them too, and death would make grief, and grief would lead to hatred. He must lead by example. Reject the violence. Reject the desire to create violence. But how?
The implication here seems to be that he's trying to... It almost seems like he's trying to become the new leader, but maybe he's trying to find an excuse to...
Well, they really needed to redecorate anyway.
I think he wants to show how to change things instead. Maybe we'll defeat the Emperor, but then spare him. Possibly. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. So glad you all could make it. Alright, we just hit the elemental with fire, which, funnily enough, means that he's going to die of the fire, even though it's a weird fire creature. There we go. Oh yeah, with the proper attack stack, you can kind of just apply your fire damage and move on to the next guy. A lot of the characters are weak enough that they'll just die of that. Oh no, I did it again, just like last time. I didn't realize that at the time, I don't think, but we really did make it almost to the Emperor last time. We just weren't really, that just wasn't really our goal, and then we got betrayed by people that we thought we were on the same side as. Which is a very redundant sentence, because I started it with the word betrayed, which kind of explains the rest of
Soon
it.
he'd confront the Emperor. Funny that this whole war had come about because the Emperor feared death. And now it was coming for him. There was some sort of lesson there, wasn't there?
What are you? That is the age-old thing, though, and at least in fiction, there's an ongoing thing where somebody powerful and rich, or so with other resources, fears death so much that they create an entire thing to try to cheat it, and that's exactly what leads to their death, ultimately. Enchanters can buff and heal enemies. Buff ravens are very dangerous, alright? So we wanted to go after these blue serpent things whenever they show up. Hello? Oh yeah, easy enough target. Oh, the buff seems to stick around for a while. That's a concern. Thankfully, when he's all alone, not very dangerous as it turns out. Oop. Oop. I see you coming after me. I should be counterattacking because that's when I get my damage bonus, but I was just concerned. I'm pretty sure I just lit that raven on that serpent on fire. Either way, things are resolved. Whoa, what is that? That seems rather excessive, honestly. A little hyper-grandiose, aren't we here? Fine.
Finally, he came to the Emperor's ship. The path behind him was strewn with dead ravens. The path to enlightenment. His mistake, he realized, was trying to change the world. The world would spin and the wheel would revolve whether he strove against it or not. What he had to do was nothing. He had attained enlightenment. He sat down, adopted a full lotus position, and began to meditate. And all around him, the warriors stopped fighting too.
They knew. They could feel his enlightenment. They gave up fighting, dropped their weapons, and became his disciples. No, just kidding. The nearest raven stabbed him with a sword and then chopped off his head. I might not have thought this through properly. Thought Reynardo's head as it rolled around the deck and died. Reynardo stared at the book. He was still alive. Again. And still only flying away from burning Ubar. Had he lived that adventure? Or only dreamt it? Had he really died? It felt so real, not like a dream at all. And he'd lost again. Oh, he hated that. But he had made different choices. And he'd lost in a different way. It was the book, wasn't it? Oracles showed you your destiny. But this was showing him different ways he could die miserably. Thanks a bunch, book, he thought. But these were destinies that he did not have to fulfill. But he'd learned another true thing. The Iblis Stone was evil. It would try to corrupt anyone who used it.
So there's a turn for us to deal with. The Iblis Stone is evil. We actually found that out in like one mission though. The rest of it was just my continued suicide, essentially. Story number 15, Return of the Hippie. I was so happy when the game was like, nah, just kidding. Because the ending of them all becoming enlightened was so dumb, I was actually losing faith in the game until I realized that it was a joke. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Thank God. Rather brutal, though. Out of nowhere, it's like, oh yeah, they stabbed him and chopped off his head. Well, that's a dark ending. I kind of predicted what was going to happen, though, because earlier on I was like, here's the catch-22, is he's going to gain the enlightenment he needs to have the stone not corrupt him. And that's just going to make him not want to use the power of the stone. So it's sort of a binary option. You either give in to the power of the stone, and it defeats you, and you become corrupted, or you ignore the power of the stone, and you don't become corrupted. It'll be interesting to do a separate playthrough of that story arc, where you start off with the Iblis Stone, but then constantly do exactly what it wants, because that'll also be interesting. What kind of hero are you? A hero who transcends being a hero to become one with everything, including blood on the floor, apparently. But hey, we leveled up. The Iblis Stone corrupts anyone who uses it. Tier 3 skills unlocked. So we've unlocked the next tier of skills once again. I wonder if we're supposed to unlock these things slower than I have been, just because I'm definitely unlocking the next tier of skills faster than I can actually buy them, because I don't level up enough times. Or at least not to buy. I won't be able to buy a decent chunk of them necessarily. I wonder, in this one's case, did I make specific choices that led to me noticing that the stone was evil, or would I have realized it was evil much earlier on? I don't know. This one, with Lapino, that was at least late in the storyline. Although, because you have to because you meet him first thing in the game, I wonder if he was going to be revealed as being evil no matter what. These are the types of things we can learn as we play more, I suppose.
But that meant there must be a destiny where he survived and won, right? Otherwise, what was the point? And with that, the book's pages fluttered back once more to the beginning, and the clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced, or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis Stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course. Reynardo had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Reynardo really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Okay, so we're gaining knowledge. I wonder if knowledge of the individual storylines might overlap at some point, and if I can make them like use information from one thing and information from another one to build them together. We'll have to see. I think I'll go after the Sky Ripper next time. Thanks for watching like always, guys, and I will see you next time.